Hello beautiful people, LosingDrea here. First you want to line the bottom of the oven with foil for easy cleanup. Next, move the racks down to accommodate the size of your roasting pan or casserole dishes. Be sure that your pans are going to fit pretty much in the middle of the oven so that they bake correctly. You want to get you a large turkey roasting pan for this, which is what I recommend. But you can use 2 glass casserole dishes and cover the bottoms of the pans with foil for easier cleanup later, and also so the rolls don't stick. Now these are the basic ingredients that you're going to use aside from the 2 cabbages not shown. You got 2 large heads of cabbage approximately 7 inches across, 2 pounds of lean ground turkey, and I use sea salt, not regular salt. So I just wanted to let you know that. Also, I have minced garlic, salt, the sea salt, and pepper, 3 medium-sized yellow onions, and I chop these finely. Then I use a half of a large green pepper. And I also chop that finely so that it can go into the filling. Then I use 1 whole Egglands Best brand large egg. I use Egglands Best because it's lower in calories and healthier for you than regular eggs. I used Butterball, 99% fat-free, 100% natural, lean ground turkey, and it's turkey breast, and you want to make sure that it's extra lean as shown here, and also 99% fat-free. And it is Butterball because they use all-natural turkey. Now you want to take your heads of cabbage and remove the cores of the cabbage like shown. You're going to actually remove more out than you see I did here so that the leaves are released from the center easier. You're then going to take your heads of cabbage and place them core side down, each into its own pot of water, and allow that to boil. Put a lid on it and it'll come to a boil. You want to be able to see when the leaves start to open up, so you want to make sure it's a glass top lid. And you don't want to overcook your cabbage or it'll become mush. You want these nice tender leaves, and when the cabbage is done you want to run it under cool water so that you can handle separating them properly from their heads, and place the leaves onto towels so that you can allow them to drain thoroughly before use. I layer mine between sheets of paper towels. Now, any small broken leaves or the cooked centers of the heads of cabbage you can chop up, and we're going to use it for our filling later. I just place it in a bowl and set it aside to be used when we're ready for it. Now, in a large saucepan, you want to take your turkey and brown it. And when it's done browning, you want to drain the juice. Now this doesn't have a lot of fat. If this was ground beef, you'd want to drain the fat. But this is about how much juice you're going to get out of it. And when that's done, you then add your chopped in green peppers. Then your finely chopped onions. And then you want to go ahead and add your condiments. Starting first, I use the sea salt. Then I use the ground pepper, and that is black ground pepper in case you can't tell. And I use the garlic. And you can use 3 fresh clove pressed, or I used jar minced garlic. There's like nothing in it. Then go ahead and cook until the veggies are translucent. And then you want to go ahead and add in your pre-cooked rice. You want to cook it, steam it, however you do it, and then add it in slowly, folding it in and working it through the mixture. Then you want to go ahead and add in the cabbage that we cut up and set aside earlier, and you want to mix that in well. And since we set it aside earlier, it should have cooled down, which is going to help this meat mixture to cool down. You're going to remove it from the heat as you're mixing it, and hopefully it'll cool down a little bit more. And this is going to help it cool down even faster because, like I said, the cabbage should have already cooled. You want to keep tossing it, and as you're tossing it, it's going to allow it to cool even more. And then let it sit aside for a little bit so that when we add the eggs aren't going to cook. Now, whisk together your 2 eggs in a bowl and then add this to your filling mixture. Now, you want to make sure that you distribute it throughout well. And then you're going to grab 1 drained cabbage leaf, and we're ready to stuff our first cabbage roll. You grab it in your hand and you fan it out as best as you possibly can without tearing any part of the leaf. Then you take about 1/4 cup of your filling and you add it to the inside center of the leaf as shown, usually in the area that's cupped. And then you want to fold in your sides and then each other opposite end, sealing it like a little envelope, and place it fold side down in the pan, which is going to keep it closed. You repeat and keep layering them in the pan as shown. After that, you grab your diced. Okay, so then you're going to take your diced tomatoes after you've laid down your first layer of cabbages, and you're going to pour in at least half the can over top of them. Move them around with your hands if you have to. Make sure you get a little bit on each of the rolls. And then repeat making more stuffed cabbages and layering them over top of the first layer. You're going to add the other half of the can of diced tomatoes. And then it's time to put the V8 low sodium original vegetable juice. And you want to, I made 29 stuffed cabbages with this recipe, so I'm going to go ahead and use the whole 64-ounce jug. You just want to pour it in around the sides. You can pour it in, the cavities within, some over the top. You just want to be sure you're not like washing away all of the diced tomatoes. And this is what it should look like when it's almost covering the top of the cabbage. And in the large turkey roasting pan that I use, this is about, what you'll see. Then you want to put the lid on it and cover it with foil if you don't have a lid. But if you have steam holes in the lid, you want to be sure the holes are closed. And then you want to go ahead and put it into your preheated oven that we preheated at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And you want to cook this for 1 hour. After an hour's time is up, you want to lower the temperature to 325 Fahrenheit and continue to cook for another hour and a half. When it's done, when it's done, you want to remove the pan from the oven and you want to open it up, smell what you cooked, and get ready to serve. And here it is. And boy, was it delicious. Yummy grandma's Polish stuffed cabbage. And very low in calories, hardly any fat, and hardly any carbs. So you can enjoy more than 1, 2, even 3. Look at that. 94.3 calories, 11.6 carbs, 0.8 fat, and 9.4 grams of protein. Thanks, guys.